right, welcome to the Car Guy and SixFan show. Welcome all of you car guys, car gals, car fans, your that are in stream. Welcome everybody. So you've done my channel, and that would be Straight Six Fan. My name is Grant Tommy. I am the host tonight of the Car Guy, and my channel is, if you haven't heard before, my tagline is I like to focus on budget-minded, relatable, creative builds. A little soft beat, hot rodding, but now I'm going to send it over to Guy.
Yeah, so guys, my name is Jason, and my channel is Old Car Auto Guy, and my channel focuses on the daily operations of my used car lot. And we have projects, and we have updates, and we have shenanigans, and we're getting ready to do a shenanigan on our show, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But welcome as part of the CarrGuy and SixFan show. We've got a couple of people showing up in the chat already. We got Captain Ron and Andy. Welcome, guys.
And one of the things that we like to always hear at the gates is, help us grow. The best way we can do that is word of mouth. And so we're going to rely on you guys, our fans. Go ahead and share the link to this live stream and invite some of your friends. Just go ahead and take a second and copy, do a little right on my desktop, or find the little boomerang icon and blast it out there on yours. We'd really appreciate our record to date is 40 live stream at one time. So let's see if we can't do that tonight. But I know Jason and some more people, don't you update us on who's on? Do we still have you?
Yeah, so before we get going, Grant, we are making sure that your connection seems to be a little bit poor. Master Apprentice or Captain Ron has said that you're all a little bit in and out there. So anyways, we are going to welcome some of these guys. Eric Steinberg is here. Captain Ron, Steve Shedd, welcome back. And Auto Addiction, who I believe is a new channel. Welcome to the CarrGuy and SixFan show. And one of the things that I posted recently on my Instagram, guys, is a contest because I reached 1,800 subscribers this week, as well as 1,000 Instagram followers. I put up a post, it's not too late, showing a picture of 3 t-shirts. And if you want to be entered into that contest to win one of your choice of a free t-shirt, then just go to Instagram, find that post of the 3 t-shirts, tag 2 people. That's all you got to do. Make sure you're following me. And at the end of this live stream, I'm going to be drawing for one of those t-shirts. And in fact, I've actually got one of them right here now. So if you want to go over there and do that, I will be keeping an eye on my Instagram during the live stream and keeping the wheel updated. Yes, we have a wheel with everyone's name on it. We're going to give it a spin, and the winner will be chosen at random, and they are going to have their choice of which t-shirt they want to have. So while Grant is trying to fix up his internet connection issue by going hardwired, we are going to start the show with something that we usually do, and that's basically talking a little bit about automotive news. So one of the things, you can turn that down if you'd like, honey. Thank you. One of the things that we want to start with is our favorite cars of the decade. And one of the cars that we've been trying to narrow down, Grant had a little bit of an issue with the model year, but nevertheless, he had a backup plan. And it was easy for me to figure out which car I liked because I'm a little bit odd. I like the odd cars. Grant, if you're ready to flash a picture up on the screen, we're going to start talking about that. So my favorite 60s car, it's very easy to go with something like a Mustang or a Camaro because they were new in the 60s. But guess what? I'm going with the AMC AMX. This particular car that's being shown on the screen right now is a 69 model with a 390 4-speed. And they came in different variations. I like this one with the front end with a single headlight and the turn signals in the bumper because it leaves the grille completely open. Um, they weren't the prettiest, but hey, they're quick, and they were a force to be reckoned with back in the day. So you guys can let us know what you think in the comment section, whether you like our choices or not. But Grant, what car did you have for your choice?
Yeah, so I was going to go with a Plymouth or a Chrysler product until I realized the model year change did not happen in '69 like I thought. It was 1970. So I went with my backup plan, which is something a little off as well. And I've always liked this body style of Galaxies, Fairlanes, and I'd love to do for like a shop vehicle, like a parts runner, one of these Galaxy 500 wagons, or I guess they call it the Country Squire. This is not the. I would probably do like an all black version of one of these, and probably remove most of the trim and moldings, and probably airbag it. But that would be my selection.
And I really like those wagons. And as we were talking before we went live, I said to Grant that if I was to find one in good enough shape, I would probably go with the patinaed look, something that does have an aged look to it. Something that on the outside just looks like an everyday run of the mill old, 30, 40, 50-year-old wagon. And, but underneath modern. So I think it's great that, these cars are making a comeback. And, it wasn't until just a few years ago, nobody was touching wagons, let alone four-door cars. So, there's another topic we were talking about. I don't know if you want to touch on that or not, Grant.
I think that's probably better for just dedicating a whole episode, or I mean, one of these chats, this portion of the live stream too. Um, but yeah, no, the, there's no, I love American Motor Company, just the little engine that could out of Wisconsin. It's just you definitely don't see any makes of theirs in almost any, of course Jeeps like the CJ7s, those are still AMCs, but you take Jeep out of the equation, and it's just you just don't see AMCs around anywhere. But we've had some other people join in the chat here. In the meantime, there are 12 of us, and I did want to give a special shout out to one of the newest channels I have started following, Clammy. He is sort of his channel is based around kind of camping out of your truck, and I think is kind of an interesting follow. So, guys, it's not mandatory or anything, as we always say, just give new names a shot in the chat. Go check out their channel. Figure out if it's for you or not. But maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But this is just a great way to expose yourself to new channels and find new channels that are in the car niche. We also had Steve Shed, Bama Mudmower, and Doug Sweener pop in. Eford Garage, Craving Cars, Rough Rods, Restos. So welcome everybody. Eric's Stinberg, Weirdbeard. It's the names are piling in, but
Yep, they are for sure. And don't forget that Dirty Garage. Oh my goodness, I can't talk tonight either. Dirty Garage Mods is in there as well. Thank you guys for being a part of this channel. And I did see a question in there. Um, who was it? It was somebody
Eric,
had asked me. Yeah. Oh no, sorry. It was Bama Mud Mower. Um, Oh, it's straight. It's Doug Sweener has changed his name. So, anyways, the question came out about Cougars and if I had ever bought any 68 to 70 Mercury Cougars. And no, I have not. Although my brother-in-law has a 72 Cougar XR7 convertible. I've never really got into anything older than that myself. My dad's a big 30s car guy. Has had a couple of vehicles from the 30s. He's currently got a Dodge and has had a Chev sedan in the past. And right now, I've not gone back that far. My car is a 79 Cordoba, so it's barely even a 70s car. So I guess as we're kind of rolling through here, Weird Beard says he does have a Javelin for sale. Well, I will scoot right down to Oklahoma, which is where I believe he is, and take a look at that and maybe bring it home for the weekend.
and stop by my place on the way back to Canada via Oklahoma. So
Yeah, there you go.
well, with that, as you guys who are regulars around here, we like to give a little advice, a little struggles, a little just let you guys know we're in the trenches with you guys as we're growing our YouTube channels, trying to help you guys grow yours as well. So anything we can add as a tip, as a trick, or lesson learned, we like to do that. And so that is typically the co-host duty. So again, Jason.
Yeah, so one of the things that I came across a few times over the past several weeks is YouTube gives you the ability to put some defaults into your channel uploads or your video uploads. And one of the things that changed on me that I didn't realize had changed was when I was uploading, I was manually having to choose um, setting that upload to private instead of automatically being public. I remember going into my defaults and setting that one at a time. And what happens is today, for instance, I was uploading my Saturday video, which I normally would schedule to come up live or to come live on YouTube on Saturday mornings. And it accidentally went public as soon as it was uploaded. So I didn't realize it. I was just kind of, going about my thing. And all of a sudden I started getting email notifications of comments on that video. So rather than delete the video and reissue it or reschedule it for Saturday, I just said to heck with it, let it roll. But you can go into YouTube Creator Studio into a default setting and add that to your default so that as soon as you upload a video, it goes to a private where you can later then schedule it. The problem there is don't forget to schedule it. So make sure that you're setting up those settings. That's just kind of a neat tip that I learned a long time ago that for some reason it changed. And I'm not going to say it changed because I switched to YouTube Beta Studio, but because I've been using that for quite a while now. But make sure you're checking that and make sure that you have those defaults set. You can default set your tags, your comments with certain contact information or specials or whatever you want. And it just saves you a lot of copy and pasting or typing with each video.
Yeah, I had the same thing happen to me this last Sunday. Scheduling it wasn't an option for some reason, and so I don't know if it's part of that. That was the first time that had happened to me because I do have my default set so that I have some of the same affiliate links that show up or my T-shirts and things like that. But yeah, I'm glad you brought this up because that gives me an idea of where to peek under the covers to maybe correct that because it stunk. I mean, I was early, about an hour early, because 8:30. But my thought always is if you can use YouTube as a tool, the more like exact regular you are, I figure the algorithm finds it easier. Like if they can connect dots that 8:30 to 8:30 on a Sunday to a Sunday is literally a week, I think that's just good for the algorithm. I could be wrong, but I try to do as much as I can.
Well,
So
and
anyway,
one of the things that a lot of the big YouTubers are telling you when you are creating your videos is, consistency with your uploads. People will expect to see your videos at certain times of the day, and once you get doing that, you can start advertising within your videos a call to action, so to speak, that this is when they get uploaded. So, it's for me, it's 6 a.m. Atlantic time, which is like 4 a.m. Grant's time when my videos go live in the morning. So when you wake up, you're getting that notification. It's right there, and you can click in before you go to work, while you're eating your breakfast, or while you're at work supposed to be doing your work. Uh, those videos, I did that on purpose because I was getting really good feedback from videos going up that early in the morning.
yeah. So a couple of questions just came in. Corey from Craving Cars asking you, Jason, if you are drinking the usual tonight.
I am. Tonight we are into the Moosehead Light as a great evening sipping beer. So yes, Corey, thank you for asking.
So again, for those who have just dropped in, and Eric commenting that my feed is much better. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to hardwire it every time for the live stream. Jason and I were before we went live. Everything was working just fine. So a little bit surprised. I don't know what was going on there, but I just now have to hardwire. It's not a big deal. I'll just make sure that happens. We were up to 19 viewers in the live stream. So if anybody new has jumped in that we haven't said hi to, like Drew's Auto, uh, who haven't seen him in a while, and we had Russ from Double R Restorations, the um, But Jason and I were joking how we've self-anointed ourselves the gold standard for
The
the
gold
Car
standard.
Talk live stream. Russ from Double R Restorations is definitely the gold standard when it comes to restoring a second gen Camaro. So wanted to give him a shout out. But again, you have found your way to the CarrGuy SixFan show and subscriber hangout here tonight. So if you haven't hit the like button, we would appreciate that if you did that. But we would appreciate more if you went ahead and shared the live stream to get more people in here so we can grow this thing and it can definitely live up to the billing of gold standard as time goes on. So one of the other things we'd like to do on a regular basis here on the CarrGuy and SixFan show is highlight just something car related, whether it's a YouTube channel, whether it's just some kind of cool build we've stumbled upon or some cool topic. Last week Jason did the 5 things that he just hates as far as car mods go. Um, Tonight, I wanted to just highlight a channel, Dirt Lifestyle. This is one, as you can see, this is what a TubeBuddy plugin will do for you. You can compare your subscriber stats like mine down here, this flat line that barely reads, compared to the channels you visit, which I think his name's Nate. I think it's Nate over at Dirt Lifestyle. If you don't know who he is, he actually for a while was a contributor with Bleep and Jeep. So a lot of you have probably heard of that channel. But he kind of broke off and did his own thing, and he's a very talented fabricator, builder. He has this Jeep TJ that has a VW diesel in it. He runs 40s on it, and but just look at his growth over the past month. He gained had a 400 subscriber day, and then has backed up back to back to 800 subscriber days. So, um, I guess the reason why I wanted to show you guys a channel like this, yes, this is something we all aspire to be, want, and obviously he's doing something right. So, what I just want to encourage everybody is study channels like this. Just dig deep into how could this possibly have happened. I'm guessing these numbers have come off of this video, a 535,000 view video that was posted just over a month ago. So just look at this thumbnail, study it. Look at how it's got a nice depth of field. There's a blurred background. He staged basically the product he was going to talk about, and it backs up what he's saying this is. So I think there's definitely some magic here. I would just encourage you guys, go ahead and find channels like this and do a deep dive and study them.
Yeah, and the benefit of looking at other channels, especially I say smaller ones, and what was his subscriber count? Somewhere around 25,000 or so. So when you go and you take a look at smaller channels, even a 25,000 subscriber channel is still relatively small in the grand scheme of things. They're doing something right if they're getting the growth that they're getting. That doesn't mean you have to sacrifice what you want to offer to YouTube, because you don't want to be doing the exact same thing that somebody else is doing. Because if you were, then none of us would ever grow. So that's why we all have our own, little thing that we're doing, and we're doing it a little bit differently. So when you see some of the things that they're doing, you can take away some of their tips and tricks, or some of the neat things that they're doing, whether it's their tagging. Because with TubeBuddy as an add-on to your Chrome browser, you can see a lot of specs that they have done or that they're doing when it comes to tagging and their gains, like Grant just showed. So having all that stuff available is really good. So studying other channels, it's a great idea. You get to learn what's working for them and what you could use to help work for your little niche.
Yeah, think about it more in terms of like breaking down elements, like the chunks. Like Jason said, you don't want to just straight up rip someone off because that just will never work. But Eric, you mentioned a video about the Ford Fairmonts from regular car reviews. Yes, I did see that one. It was quite funny, quite humorous. Made me laugh several times. Yeah, I couldn't believe how well of a kind of survivor that guy had and was still daily driving. But it's actually kind of funny and a nice little segue into channel updates, where Jason and I like to kind of give you guys a little peek behind the covers of what to expect on our channels, kind of what's happened since the last upload. And speaking of Fairmonts, my channel update actually, I'll try to weave this back together. has to deal with, I took off work early today for a plumber to come to my house because he was fixing my hot water heater. So you won't have to hear it trickle in the background of my videos anymore, for one. But two, this guy wound up being a car guy, and I've just hung out in the garage with him and talked cars while he worked because he had a 2 hour window. He knew it wasn't going to take him 2 hours to do it. So he just kind of enjoyed talking shop with me. And, the first thing he said when I popped the garage open, he's like, "Oh, this takes me back. We used to cruise around in my buddy's mom's Fairmont back in the 80s, and we would do burnouts in that thing." And it was just like, he owns and he lives in my neighborhood, come to find out. He owns like a 2006 or 8, I can't remember, Z06 Corvette. And we were talking cars, and it was funny. I told him what my next step on my car was on Monday night, I bench bled my master cylinder. Come to find out that the new master cylinder I'm swapping in compared to my old one, it has the fittings are in reverse order from the front port to the rear port. So I have to cut my brake lines and reflare those and swap the fittings around. And he actually had a tubing flare tool that he was like, "Oh yeah, let me just go get it out of my truck. You can use it, and I know where you live and all this stuff." Well, I didn't wind up using it because it wasn't a double flare tool. He didn't have the dies to do the. It was just going to do a single flare instead of wrapping it back on itself. Like so it was just kind of funny, but it's just like, one of those benefits living in a small town. It was just kind of fun to kind of go through that. And it seemed like there was just one other tiny little. But since I did take off work early, I did actually mount the 1-inch wheel spacers today. I was able to cut the studs off to the appropriate length and get those on. But again, that's another reminder that Instagram, you guys would have known that if you follow me on Instagram. Jason, what do you got for your update?
Well, speaking of Instagram, I want to kind of segue into two things here. So one is, Grant, if you want to pop the wheel up on the screen right quick, just to remind everybody that if you're in the chat right now and you don't follow me on Instagram, go over and follow Old Car Auto Guy on Instagram. There's a post in there showing 3 different t-shirts. I'm doing a t-shirt giveaway tonight. There's the names who are entered in on this t-shirt giveaway. Your name could be in there. All you have to do is be following me on Instagram, as well as tag 2 of your friends, and they will get entered in as well. So having said that, part of the whole Instagram thing is, if you were following me on Instagram, you'd have seen today that I posted a few updates on Project Bubbles, where I was able to get it sitting back on all 4s on its own weight. So I've got a video coming out for Saturday on how we did all that. And so that is kind of the leading up to the demise of Bubbles. We had to get it rolling again after its little mishap. So this weekend is official. I am blowing up Bubbles on Sunday. The trick is we're not releasing that video until you guys help me get to 2,000 subscribers. Once we get to 2,000 subscribers, we will celebrate by releasing that video. So that's kind of what's going on.
Well, and just kind of looking back through the chat, we had a couple things that got thrown out there. One, Clammy, the guy who's new to our show this week, says he was kind of down in the dumps about his channel and hadn't posted in a few weeks. And then he is just kind of commenting on how just being in this chat has helped motivate him. So that's awesome. Congratulations. I'm glad we could help you with that. We just, again, I think it's important to, as you build community in your own channel, is obviously you want to, when you travel, we'll say, to different channels, you want to go to destinations that are familiar territory. And, that's what this is all about, is putting like-minded people in the same spot. So Arc Cricket asked the audience if anybody would be interested in watching a Q&A video vlog or a little vlog about building, design, and construction. It looks like some kind of responded to it. JC Smith Projects, welcome to the live stream. You jumped in there. In the meantime, Eric, I am not drinking Moosehead. I am drinking the ever so girly Natterday that I decided to try out, and the least amount that the liquor store had was an 18-pack. It actually isn't that bad. I don't I was worried. It was like, well, I'm either gonna be dumping out a lot of cheap beer, or I'm gonna be drinking a lot of cheap beer, and it's it's all right. It's not like I don't know that I'm gonna rush out to buy it again, but I will probably buy it again at some point. So anyway, I think I'm getting
Well,
caught up.
yeah, I mean, of course, we're car guys. We work on our cars and we drink beer, so that is kind of a tie in there. Just wanted to make sure you knew that. So
But I believe I can get Moosehead down here. I've seen it in a few liquor stores, but the Eric's actually got a good kind of buttload of questions here. He also asks about, or he comments on how he likes not mainstream stuff, kind of more grocery getter cars. So that's cool. Well, you've definitely come to the right place for that. Between a Cordoba and a Fairmont, we got you covered there. Um, then Eric also asks, "What do you guys think of the Gremlin GTX?" Honestly, I've never seen those two things
together,
side by side. I think you mean the Gremlin X, maybe?
Gremlin X was a yeah, and there might have been a GTX. I'm not up on my
Yeah.
AMC, unfortunately. Like I can't verify that. I do know there was a Gremlin X, which was meant to be more of the sport version of the, the. I don't want to sound chauvinistic by no means, but the Gremlin was made. It was geared towards the wife's car, the commuter car, the second vehicle for the family. So having said that, I think moving into an X model is like the Ford Focus RS or ST. They just took it one step further to attract a little bit more crowd, so that we could get in there and see what people are willing to buy. Something that maybe sales are slow. Let's slap a few badges on it, a few stickers, perform it up a little bit, and some fancy wheels and tires, and see if it sells any better. And I think that's kind of what they went for in that particular car. So I want to say Arch Cricket. Maybe I'm
Arc.
pronouncing that
It's
wrong.
like Arc. He's a coworker of mine, so it's like short for architect. Arc.
Okay, that's how we spell Arch here in Canada. Anyways, CarrGuy, have you ever had or seen a Ford Pinto on the lot? So no, I mean, of course, we're going back 30 years in cars. They don't make Pintos obviously anymore, but a Pinto, I would own one, regardless of what people say about them. They are the poor man's Mustang, and in fact, on a lot of hot rods, they would use Mustang 2 or Pinto rack and pinion front end suspension on those cars, because they were so readily available in the junkyards. Nowadays, it's hard to find them. Believe it or not, a lot of guys now with their hot rods are going with the Panther platform, the front clip with the coilover suspension and rack and pinion.
Yeah, and how many things that's bolts up to is just amazing. I did want to kind of follow up on a couple things. So, Clammy, you were asking some questions about Instagram. If you want to get more specific, feel free to throw that out there, and Jason, I can try to help you out there. The way I look at Instagram is like, if a picture is worth 1,000 words, YouTube, what we primarily do, is worth 1,000 pictures. And so, when it comes to being like a teaser platform, I think Instagram's the best secondary platform to support a YouTube platform, because it's a caption. All it is like, think of it, Instagram is a Polaroid. That's why the format's a square. It's like a Polaroid that you can write a little like caption below in the white space. I know I'm dating myself a little bit, but I also like to think I'm pretty good at pop culture, only being 34.
I was going to say, dating yourself. You're 10 years younger than I
Yeah,
am.
yeah. So I'm a little bit probably younger for the Polaroid craze, but I do know what they are. And mostly Mopar IH. Yes, you did follow up and say what I was going to try to get to next. The GTX as a Plymouth, I was familiar with, which is basically like a hoity-toity Roadrunner, if I'm not mistaken. It's got more. It's a Roadrunner with a lot more options, or Super B Roadrunner. I think those are all the same. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, they're all B bodies.
Okay. And
Yeah. So another thing, America bumper to bumper, or sorry, Eric was mentioning that the Mercury Lynx was it different than the Pinto? Yes, it was. So the Mercury Lynx basically was a Ford Mustang with a Mercury badge on it, and the reason why they did that uh, was because your Mercury car dealers didn't have a performance car to sell, so they slapped a Mercury badge on the Fox body and called it called. Oh, sorry, no, I'm going the wrong way. I'm thinking of the Capri. The Mercury Lynx was an Escort earlier in its days, so I'm not sure if they shared the line of the Pinto or not.
I
I'm sorry.
honestly had never heard of a Lynx until tonight, so learned something new. But the Mercury version of the Pinto is the Bobcat. Is what the so in a Pinto, the before Project Low Fairmont, so I was making it a point to save up my total project budget before I bought my project car, and which I more or less did for Project Low Fairmont. But was like 14 months before that, I almost bought a $1,200 Ford Pinto that was in pretty good shape, kind of similar shape to the Fairmont, pretty close. Speedometer didn't work. But it had like a kind of dent in the hood, and it was like a perfect. It was kind of similar to my Fairmont, where like straight body, solid corner, no rust, but it had a dent in the hood, and this car sat for sale for so long at this kind of used car lot slash kind of mechanics shop. But they're like, well, we just as well practice our body work skills. So when I went to look at it, they had tried to pull the dent out, and they had like primered like a chunk of the hood, and I was like, no, you ruined it, because I don't want to do any body work. For me to flip cars and be successful, I'm never going to make my money back out of body work. I think, and so that ruined that sale for me basically. But until I move to a new place with a bigger shop, working out of one bay of my 2-car garage, like there's only a certain length of car that fits in that bay. So Ford Pinto is definitely one of those that's on my radar.
Yeah, and I think someday if I was to ever to jump on board with the compact car segment, I would probably more lean excuse me, towards the early model Toyota Corollas when they were rear wheel drive. I think those were a really great platform. And a buddy of mine who is a sales rep for one of the tire companies I deal with is big into um, the rear wheel drive Corollas, and he's going to bring one down to me, or I'm going to go up and I'm going to have some fun because he's made a rally car out of it, and it's something that he has often talked about using it for a Gambler 500 type car. So um, one of the things I think we should start doing, Grant, is get ready to wrap up the show. We're at 32 minutes. We usually try and keep it set up for a half-hour show, but I did want to make time to do the T-shirt giveaway. So I think what we're going to do right now is we're going to pull up the wheel. It is currently updated, and basically what we're going to do is we are going to hit the spinner. It'll spin for approximately 15 seconds and land on a name, and that way that person will be designated the winner of a T-shirt. I'll contact you and give you your choice of which style T-shirt you want to have. So if we had a drum roll, we would roll a drum roll, but we don't. So we're just going to go into here, and we are going to close enough, spin the wheel, and see which name pops up here. And the winner is look at that. So just so that we all know, so that we landed on Send It Steve as a winner, and I'm pretty sure that if Send It Steve knew that he was the winner of this T-shirt, he would say, "I'm going to donate that back in to the prize package." Again, his name was tagged as somebody, so I am going to spin the wheel one more time. And Steve already has one of my T-shirts too, so we're going to make this a little bit more fair by some of the smaller channels and smaller names that are in here. So I am going to spin it one more time, Steve. I know that you would be okay with this, so let's give her a spin one more time, and maybe straight SixFan will win. Who knows?
Come on.
Oh, there he goes.
Bum, bum, ba-dum.
Ooh, look at that. So we have a winner in the name of Jonathan Hatt. Jonathan is a local fella here in my town, and I did a contest back a while ago when I gave away some headlight restore thing in a video, and he won that as well. So congratulations to Jonathan. I will be reaching out to you via Instagram. I've got a cell number too. I'll just give him a shout and let him know. So that was it, guys. Thanks for participating in that little contest, and thanks for helping me get to 1,000 subscribers on Instagram, or sorry, 1,000 followers on Instagram and 1,800 subscribers on YouTube. If without you guys, it's not possible at all. So thank you very much.
Yeah, congratulations, Jonathan. That's really cool, and congratulations to you, Jason, for hitting those milestones. And it sounds like this was a great landing spot for some of the new channels like Humble Performance. I need to check out your channel. I don't believe I have. Clammy as well. I'm glad you found value in this. Hopefully, if you found value, you hit the thumbs up button. But that's gonna wrap it up. That's gonna do it for this show. And as is the custom here on the CarrGuy and SixFan show, the co-host always gets to send it off because it's basically helping you guys understand, because we do trade off every other channel or every other week. We host on the different channel. It will be on Jason's channel next week. So with that, Jason, why don't you send us off?
Yeah, so there's one other name that we did not mention, I don't think, and that was mostly Mopar IH. So thanks for jumping in there and being a part of the stream, guys. I hope you checked everybody out and made some great contacts there. I appreciate everyone who's jumped into the live stream tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. As I end all my videos, is stay focused on the windshield, not the rearview mirror. Guys, we love you. Thanks for everything. We will see you next week.